Let me say this cleanly. If you're winning on paper, but feel like you're failing internally, that's not imposter syndrome. And it's not a confidence problem. What it is a structural problem. And at senior levels, success starts to feel like failure when the leadership architecture collapses under the velocity of today's business world. And most high performing leaders mistake that feeling as personal inadequacy, right? When it's actually a system failure. I noticed, I felt this earlier in my career, felt winning, felt clean. In fact, I hear this from the executives I work with now. I mean, they solve problems, they execute well. And the effort led to visible progress. But as the scope expanded, something shifted. I felt this. My wins stopped feeling complete. Their wins, these executives I'm talking to, their wins stopped feeling complete. And decisions begin to feel heavier. And their responsibilities seem to deepen as consequences multiply. And if this is you, then you're still producing results, but the system feels harder to carry. Wow, there's many leaders out there. Many leaders default to the wrong interpretation. They may say something like, I should be handling this better by now, or I feel this conflicted. I feel like I'm not doing well, or other leaders make this look easier. Now, those are false beliefs. What actually changed is the load the system is placing on you, not your capability. Don't let it impact your confidence. Success starts to feel like failure when leadership architecture doesn't scale with decision velocity and authority load. Now, I've got three secrets. If you're starting to feel that, if you feel decision velocity and your authority load changing, well, here are three things that I think you might be able to relate to. Number one, feeling like a failure is a signal of structural mismatch. And this is it. At senior levels, feeling behind is rarely about competence, it's more about structural mismatch. Your thinking outgrows your calendar, your responsibility has outgrown your authority, and your decision load, it basically outgrows your delegation model. So the system asks you to absorb complexity without giving you the architecture to distribute it. And the sensation, you interpret it as failure. Man, that's not what it is. It's actually load without structure. And that feeling is not a psychological weakness, it's a design signal, it's a design warning. Secret number two, success without authority redesign feels extractive, right? So success becomes extractive when authority doesn't scale with scope. You keep winning, but the wins require more of you personally, you know, more presence, your attention. It requires more of your attention and decision load, and there's more escalation. Nothing breaks. I mean, the organization is still working, but your leadership starts consuming you instead of being carried by the system. And that's when winning begins to feel like losing. And it's not because you're failing, but because your authority architecture is collapsing inward. Secret number three, leaders mistake structural strain for self doubt. And this is the most dangerous misinterpretation. Leaders assume this heaviness, the challenges they're seeing in this high velocity environment means I need to be tougher, or I need to push harder, right? Work more hours. I need to fix myself. But but that response accelerates the problem because what's failing is not your drive. It's the design of how authority and decisions and ownership flow in a high velocity environment. You don't feel like a failure because you're inadequate. You feel like a failure because the system is asking you to carry what should be distributed to your team, to other peers, whatever's going on in your organization. So if this winning feels different and heavier than it should, don't try to fix your mindset. Diagnose your structure. We've got a tool called the Authority Architecture Diagnostic, and it exists to show where leadership load is collapsing inward and where authority hasn't scaled with velocity. And if this video felt uncomfortably accurate, the link is in the description. And remember this, at senior levels, failure doesn't start with results, it starts with architecture, your leadership structure. Let's redesign that. As always, please subscribe and share this video with someone who can benefit. And stay strong, y'all. We'll see you in the next video.